Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Hope you are having a fantastic week. This is part 2 of my stocking series where we actually make the stocking part. So last week I showed you guys how to make stocking holders. Now all we're missing is the stockings to go with the stocking holders. So that's what we're gonna do today.
All around me are familiar.
Before we get started, let's go over what items you need to create your stocking. First, you're gonna need some fabric. Pretty obvious. I have some different options here. I have a black and white striped one. I've got some red velvet. I've got this spooky spiderweb one. And then I have this blanket I got from Goodwill, but it has that's fuzzy stuff that I feel like you see on stockings all the time, so I decided to buy it to use as fabric. So really, your fabric options are endless. It's whatever you like and what you want to buy. You're also going to need a variety of ribbons. The options are up to you. You may only need one kind, you may use multiple. So for example, I have these ones with bats on them. I have this lace. I have this really awesome ribbon that has bats and plants, and it's black and gold color schemed. And then I bought just this red sparkly one that you can get at Michael's right now for Christmas time. Again, your options, like the fabric, are pretty endless. It's whatever you can find online or in stores, but probably online since it's, you know, Christmas time and you can't really find stuff with bats on them in stores. Next, you'll need a method of putting your stocking together. This could be the hot glue gun, hot glue stick method. I don't have it here with me, but you could use fabric glue. You could use a good old needle and whatever thread you want to use. And if you have a sewing machine, you're probably the most well off because this probably won't take you that long and your stocking will be much more sturdy than using hot glue, for example. As for moi, I don't have a sewing machine. Maybe one day I'll decide to buy one. I'm going to use both the methods of hand stitching as well as hot gluing because I don't want to be here all day trying to hand stitch everything. Then you'll need a pencil for sketching out your stocking, as well as if you want to make any cute little embroidery embellishments on your stocking. You're going to need a stocking cutout, so that way you have a template to work with. This is my template that I'm working with, and I have the dimensions written down, so hold on, let me look over here to see what mine are. So unsewed, it is 12 inches long, including this part at the tip. That's what she said. And then going from the widest points, it's 8.5 inches, and then at the top here it is 6 inches, and this is just the stocking base, not the faux fur at the top. The faux fur at the top was about 3 inches by 6.5 inches, so that's kind of what that equates out to. Then you're going to obviously need a tape measure of some sort, so you can measure everything out. You'll need some trusty scissors. I can't find my fabric scissors, so I'm just having to use my old crappy ones, which makes it way more difficult to cut through fabric, so bear with me if you watch that footage. It's gonna look like I'm chewing up the fabric because I am, because these scissors suck. And then you can use anything else you might want to put on it. For example, I have this pumpkin jingle bell here. You could also use little plastic bats. You could use epoxy resin things you've made. Like I've made a couple of epoxy resin little bat things. They're very cute. They're over there, I forgot to grab them. And then, I don't know, just whatever you want to use to decorate. Really, this is super customizable, which makes it so much more fun. Ooh, one more thing. You're going to need these little pin needles, that way they can hold your sewing stuff in place. These definitely make your life a whole lot easier if you're trying to sew stuff together. So I definitely recommend picking up some of these if you don't have them. Let's go into the crafting part of this video to see how we make a gothic stocking. Take it away, crafting Rachel. So, Little did you maybe know, I happened to make a stocking yesterday as a trial run to see what mistakes I'm gonna make on it, so hopefully I don't make the same mistakes today. Here is how it turned out. I give it a 6 out of 10. I don't think it's terrible. Definitely I could hang it, but yeah, it's not perfect. So first off, let's start with the bottom of the stocking. This is supposed to look like a bat wing, as you can see with my stencil. I want it to look like a stocking still, but slightly like a bat wing, which I don't know if it comes across. I don't hate it, but can you tell it's a bat wing if I didn't tell you? Maybe not. I also sewed it in a way where these kind of like to bunch up unless I fiddle with them, and then they like to lay flat, but I must have sewed it too tightly for them to lay in the way I want them to. The bottom one doesn't, but these two do. And then I also made a rookie mistake, which is I sewed this inside out. So I put a lining in here so that way this fabric looked better, because this fabric is pretty thin. And maybe I shouldn't have done that, because then it screwed me up and I didn't realize until I was halfway done hand stitching this that I made my black and white fabric inside out. So now it looks like I have a gray and white striped stocking when that was not the intention. Does it look terrible? I don't think so. But was it what I wanted? No. So we're not gonna make that mistake again today. Then I also made the top stitch like this, and I kind of tried to make it in a way where it was more haphazard and Tim Burton-esque-y, like kind of how Sally is stitched up. But then it ended up looking kind of weird with the rest of the stocking, so I kind of regret doing that at the top of it. Other than that though, I think that's really all the flaws I have with it. I do think it overall looks nice. I do think I did a pretty good job sewing on this coffin embroidery at the corner. And I do like the lace in red, pop of red up here. But again, I don't think it's fantastic. I just give it like a 6 out of 10. I made this one with minimal red because I wanted it to go with this stocking holder, which has a lot of red with it. So I thought that they would look good hanging together. Hopefully you agree with me and it looks good hanging together like that. So today I'm going to make a stocking that has a lot more red, so that way it goes with this black one right here. So it's kind of my thought process. But with that being said, let's move on to making our other stocking and basically how I made this one. I'm going to be using this red crushed velvet. So this fabric is kind of thin. I don't feel like it's thick enough to hold up as a stocking by itself. The fabric is pretty stretchy, and I feel like over time the stocking will stretch out. So in order to hopefully avoid that, I'm going to be putting in a lining. I'm going to be using the same fabric I used yesterday for the lining, and it is this blanket that I found at Goodwill, and I'm going to be using the white part on the back as the lining. So let's change up our camera angles so you're facing what I'm doing, so that way we can cut out our fabric together and start assembling. So for this first part, we're going to need our little stocking template, obviously some scissors, and our choice of fabric. We're going to take our fabric and fold it in half, so that way we don't have to do twice the work. So now that we have it folded, we're going to lay our template on top. Sorry, this angle kind of sucks. Let me cut out this part and then hopefully I can change you guys up, because I'm not liking what you guys are seeing. I feel like you can't really see what's happening. So you're going to grab your color ball pens. Try not to stab yourself, the real test. And then you're going to pin your template to your folded fabric. So you're going to put down as many pins as you think you're going to need. So I'm going to keep pinning it, and then I'm just going to cut around my template using my really terrible scissors, and then I'll meet back up with you guys with hopefully a better camera angle, and then the two exterior parts of our stocking, and then we'll move to cutting the lining part. I'm probably going to do that as well as this off camera just to save on time. And I think you guys know how to cut around a template, so hopefully no one will miss out on that tiny bit of video clips. So I'll be back and then we'll start doing the actual nitty-gritty stuff to making our stocking. Alright, so I finished cutting out my stocking and the 4 pieces of fabric that I need. So I have my 2 lining pieces and I made sure to face them fuzzy side out, so that way when I flip the stocking inside out, we get the fuzzy side on the inside. And then on the inside of that, I made sure to put my red fabric and I faced them so that way both fuzzy sides face each other. So hopefully I won't have another incident like yesterday where I accidentally sewed it the wrong direction. So I went ahead and pinned around the outside with these pins and cut off any really excessive fabric with my scissors, since it was a bit jagged because my scissors aren't very sharp. And then I dotted around where my stocking would be around this, so that way I get a better idea of the actual shape that I wanted. So hopefully when I stitch it, I can kind of have that shape again. So now I'm just going to hand sew everything. So I have my needle here. It's just an embroidery needle. These ones are a size 5. I don't know if that really matters. And then what I did is I folded it in half and tied the 2 sides with a knot. So hopefully you can see that, but I'm basically going to be back stitching. I'm not the best back stitcher in the whole world, but basically I'm just going to start on one corner, so being over here, and I'm going to avoid stitching the top part. Just want to make sure that we have an open side being the side that we want, which is the stocking top, and so that way we have a way to fold it inside out once we're done hand sewing it. So I'm gonna go ahead and start. I'm gonna go ahead and pull my thread all the way through, and then I'm just going to stitch backwards. And I'm going to go a couple of spaces ahead, pull it through again, and then go back to where you started. Hopefully you can see that. I can't even tell if you can see that. And then pull it through. So I'm just going to do this all the way around, except for the very top of the stocking, which I just mentioned. And then I'll be back with you guys once I'm done. I'll make sure to link a video down below of someone who actually knows how to hand sew, so that way you're not following my like kind of janky directions. So I'll be back once this is done. Again, I'm sorry if this video isn't the best filmed. I'm having troubles today figuring out how to angle you guys, and I'm just having a kind of frustrating day, so apologies there. So I'll be back once I've hand stitched everything, and then we'll figure out what our next step should be. Okay, so I finished sewing around the stocking, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it inside out and see how good or bad of a job I did at sewing this. There's some places that I need to go back in and sew a little better because I guess I missed some of these pieces here, and then we'll fix that. And then while I'm also away, I'm gonna go ahead and cut out this fabric, which is roughly 3 inches by 6.5 inches, and then I'm going to just get that cut out, and then we'll attach it to our stocking part. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I got this all fixed, so it's ready to go, and then I cut out my piece of white fabric here. The nice thing about the fabric that I'm using is it's already stitched down here and here. I guess that's how they made the blanket. So the only thing I really need to do is pinch these 2 sides in and hot glue them down. I'm not gonna stitch it. I could, but honestly, my level of stitching right now is very minimal because my fingers hurt from stitching my stocking up. So I'm gonna hot glue this in, and then I also thought right here on the stocking, right on the back heel, I thought maybe I'd use this really cute ribbon that had the bats and the flowers that I talked to you about earlier in the video, and I think I kind of want to put it on the back of the shoe. Kind of like that, so that way when you fold it in half, you can see it like this. I don't know. We'll see how that looks, but hopefully it turns out okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and glue that stuff together, and then I'll try and to attach this onto my stocking. Kind of want to stitch something here onto the heel of the stocking though before I do anything, and I'll just do that with a back stitch. You'll notice on my other stocking here that I back stitched a coffin in the corner. I kind of wanted to do something similar on this one. I might do a coffin, or maybe I was thinking a spider web, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that, because when I made this coffin one, I waited until after I was done attaching all the stuff at the top, and that made it a lot more difficult to get my hand down here. So before I attach anything onto this stocking, I'm gonna go ahead and embroider something onto the corner of the heel just to make it easier on myself. So I may film that, I may not. I think it's kind of boring because I'm not the best at explaining how stitching works, and I probably don't even do it right. So I apologize if this video just kind of has a bunch of clips of me doing before and afters of what I'm doing. And I don't know if that's annoying or if that's something that you guys are okay with, so please let me know. Kind of don't really know how to film DIY videos very well in my current setup, so I really apologize. So I'm gonna go ahead and do all the things I told you, which is hot glue this ribbon on the back of the stocking, hot glue these edges together like that, and then stitch either a coffin or a spider web on the corner of the stocking. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So instead of stitching something on the corner, I decided to use some of the black and white striped fabric I had and stitch on a little heel onto the stocking. I think that looks a little bit cuter, and it's something different than the other stockings that I did. And I just cut out a little circular piece, and then hot glued it down, and then I stitched it on. I had a little fake stitches to just kind of finish off the look, and then I also hot glued on this really cool bat ribbon. So now I got that. Excuse all the hair on this stocking. I'm gonna let it roll at the end because apparently this fabric is shedding all over it. But now that I got this done, I'm going to attach these two pieces together by hot gluing them together. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then in case I didn't mention, this stocking is for jewelry, so it's not going to be as lacy and frilly as the other one. I'm going to keep it more masculine looking, whatever that means, and then we'll see once I attach this what else I want to add. If I want to add any ribbon to it, if I want to add little epoxy bats, if I want to add this little jack-o'-lantern bell thing, so we'll see. But I'll be back once I attach this on. Okay. Hey, Edgar. So I got my little white fluffy part attached to my stocking with hot glue. It's all glued down. Seems pretty sturdy. I got a casualty here, so ignore that. Hot glue got me while I was worried Edgar was getting too close to it, so I ended up getting burnt by it. But you know what? My buddy is safe here, so it was worth it. So now we just gotta finish decorating it. Again, I want to keep it pretty minimalistic. So I made this little tassel thing, so I kind of want to put it kind of at the end here, maybe? I think that would look kind of cute. Something different. Can you stop attacking everything? I also did attached ribbon, so that way inside here, so that way we have a way to hang it on our stocking holder. So I'll be adding this here. Again, I think I'll be adding this up here just as like something to dangle back here. And then I have these epoxy things I made, like little bats and skulls and stuff, so I was gonna see if I liked any of these on the stocking holder. Like maybe if I put the bat, you know, up here somewhere, that might look cute, and hot glue it down. So I think I'm gonna attach these three things and think we're gonna be done with the stocking, which is good because it's 10:42 and I'm pretty tired of making stockings. I've been doing them for 2 days and they've been like 10-hour days, so pretty tired. I'm gonna finish this up and then I'll do the grand reveal of both of them hanging on the stockings. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed seeing how I made these 2 Christmas stockings. One for me and then one for Jory. One's a little more masculine and one's a little more feminine, so I hope you guys enjoyed seeing that. Even with all their flaws, I still think they turned out pretty cute, and I do think they go pretty well with the stocking holders that I made last week. If you guys do decide to make your own stockings, or if you have other fun gothy stockings that you bought maybe online, please share them with me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is Rachel Mortician, so if you want to share it with me there, I'd love to see them. Hope you guys are having an awesome, it's spooky holiday season, and I will see you in my next video. Also, sorry it's a little bit late. Okay,